Hi, it's Martin here with Danny after our 3-0 defeat at Merthyr. Thoughts on the game, Danny?
Yeah, Merthyr, I can't say didn't fully deserve it. I felt they did. I think moments in games obviously change the complexion of what the outcome is. I felt initially watching it back, the sending off was soft. But watching it live, was soft. And then to be fair play to Paul and his staff. They had it up there and on their iPad, and I watched it back, and for me it's a stamp of sending off. So, you can't come to these places and give teams legs up because they are the best team in the league. You can't knock that. They're champions for a reason because they are the best. But one thing it is, we got beat 3-0 and it felt like a bit of a whimper last year. But today I felt we didn't have a whimper. Moments in games, Pag scores, makes it 1-0, 30 seconds later they go up the other end and score. So, for 70 minutes against the best team in the league, I felt we'd done really, really well.
Yeah, indeed. The Paget chance was probably a big turning point, wasn't it? Because 1-0 when it had been 10 minutes to go.
And one thing that Lou does, he does put the ball in the back of the net. Normally he's very, very good from that. But moments in games. But over the course of this season, Merthyr have been the best side. They are fully deserving of champions. It was absolutely jumping in here, and I hope they enjoy it as much as they can. Now they're going up to a level which is tough. We know all about that, but. If they play like anything they did this season, then they're going to be a force to reckon with. Yeah,
some absolute warrior performances today as well. I thought George Smith, Joe Shepherd, especially Jordan Rose.
Yeah, I can sit here and rattle off a load of excuses to you. Jordan Rose couldn't walk this morning with sciatica. George Smith, reason why he come off on Friday is because he's got an ankle, the size of a balloon. But those two I thought were brilliant. I thought George Smith especially was probably our best player on the park today. I did think that. I felt that Joe Shepherd again, was brilliant. I felt that. I thought Curtis Angel was excellent as well. So some good performances, some manful performances. But this is what it takes to win the league. Merthyr, let's not make no bones about it. They are a very, very good side, and they're going to. I'm sure going to go on and do bigger and better things and win the Southern Prem.
Yeah, and obviously it was a chance. You brought on some of the young lads at the end. So it's a great experience for them to play in this sort of atmosphere.
Absolutely. We're missing 6 first team players today. So, you've got players that chose the Ballers over us tonight. You've got players that are away. You've got players that are injured. So it's always going to be tough, and like I said, we're coming to the best team in the division, and I am proud of the performance. I'm not particularly pleased with the result, but once again, it's not about us today. It's about Merthyr, and I can only wish them all the best.
Yeah, congratulations to Merthyr. But for ourselves, we move on to Dorchester for the last game of the season next week.
Yeah, let's get as many people there as physically possible. I said that earlier on. That's what we need. We need to pack full pit lane as much as we can. Let's have our own little party afterwards, with the singers and everything like that. Fans, players, committee members, let's get right behind it. Ask for the town to turn up as well, which will be amazing. Can we get as many people through the gate? And then it's the summer. Then it's, like I said, that's when I get back to work straight away. And where players can have a rest, but it don't stop for committee members and managers alike. It becomes even busier times. So, but yeah, looking forward to Dorchester. It's once again, one last time. Let's get over, what we've been having. 5. Can we try and hit 600 people through the gate? That'll be amazing if we can hit more than that. And obviously, it's going to keep the chairman very happy. So, no, once again, thank you ever so much for everyone that followed us today. And let's pack Bull Pit Lane for one last dance on Saturday.
Yeah, indeed, mate. Well, thanks for your time today, Danny. And unlucky, but I'll see you next Saturday.
Top.